I know you've been asking yourself this question here. Between the trust and the company, which one is good to invest my business in? Because now that we're talking about the trust, and some of you already have a company, and you're now trying to figure out, so what now? My good friends, in today's video, we are going to be talking about which between these two should you actually be doing business in, or should you be doing most of your investments on? I've been doing real estate for a minute. I've got to trust myself. I like to see myself as an employee. We do have a company. Within that company, I run that business, but above that, I'm also a trustee and a beneficiary within my trust. And I've been doing this for a while, but I've brought in someone else, a guest resident that you all know. Some of you, if you are new, welcome. This is the TJ tribe. And Pateka, she is going to be explaining to us some information that will lead you probably to make a good decision on your journey in terms of which is good for you to invest in, be it the trust or be it in a company. Welcome, Pateka. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, and how are you?
Amazing stuff. So the people have been asking, should I buy my properties in a company or should I be buying it in a trust? And I said, well, let me come to you.
I wish I have an exact answer to that.
Right.
I really wish I had. There isn't.
Right.
It entirely depends on you as a property investor. What is it that you're comfortable with? But before you get there, let's firstly start here. And first, we were talking about the powers that the trustees have within the trust. Yeah. One of those powers is, one, you can take loans on behalf of the trust. Two, you can buy properties buy properties using a trust. And number three, you can, I'm just listing some, there's plenty of those powers.
They can check some of our previous videos.
Also I mentioned in the previous video that the trustee, make friends with the trustee, read that document so that you can understand, because that's your guide. Again, you can decide whatever assets that you want to put in the trust, you can decide.
Right.
Whichever way that you want to do.
You can put a car in the trust,
yes,
jewelries.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I wear plastic, so that doesn't apply. You can put your house in the trust. Everything. You can literally put everything in a trust.
You can literally put everything in a trust.
And I think that's why people are then confused. But they have to say, if there is the trust and we say it's a safe place, but why should I be putting in a company? I mean, carry on. I'm also being confused here. I go earlier on in my journey, the confusion was there. But then when I got the solution, I was like,
True. So I think what is important for us to understand, which is why on our previous video we're talking about a power team.
Yeah. And
as part of those people that we listed was your accountant.
Yeah.
So an accountant, then remember, you also mentioned that when appointing the accountant, it's not like you're going to pay that person now at the time of appointment.
Yeah.
But as you then start managing your trust, then that's when this person is going to do some work. And that person then must be able to guide you in terms of what is, because I think what is important for us to understand is both entities can buy properties, can take loans, can do any of these things that are required by law that they can be done.
Right. So as standalones.
Yes, as standalones.
Yeah.
So you can,
including yourself.
Yeah.
You're not third party.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Now you're on a third party.
Yeah.
So again, it depends on one. The most important thing is tax efficiency.
Right.
Because we don't want, I don't think there's anyone who wants to pay too much tax. That's because you did not plan or structure your things properly. So that is why we talk about structuring. When we talk about structuring, what is it that you would want to do? Because remember, the purpose of creating a trust, it differs from each person. So whether you wanted to create a trust because you wanted to trust to own the shares within the company and that's it, or you're creating a trust because you wanted to purchase properties in cash and put in a trust because they are cash paid properties, there's no bond in place, or you were saying, okay, I would just deal with the trust, I don't want a company. it's entirely on you. What is it that you would want to do? But what I would recommend as partaker is have a company, have a trust.
Right.
Make sure that your trust then owns the shareholding in your company. So that then you should know that whatever dealings or whatever trading that you would want to do, buy properties, like we know as property investors again, that we can buy properties to rent them out, we can buy properties to flip them and renovate and resell. So whatever strategy that you choose, that strategy must happen within your company. So that then you should know that in terms of all these taxes that you need to do, submission and SARS and all of that is all happening in one entity, which is your company. Then you deal with that there. But knowing for a fact that whatever assets that you're purchasing or dealings that you do within your company, you have the ownership of those assets vested in your trust. You have a trust. Again, there are other things that we use for the trust, as we were mentioning earlier, that other assets that you can have them owned by a trust. So meaning you can have your life cover, own it and make your trust a beneficiary. You can take insurances, and again your trust is there. So there's so many things that you can do. Hence I'm saying that trust deed again is there and is listing all of these things that we can do within the trust. But in terms of what is the best, it entirely depends on you, on the purpose in which you created the trust for. Because I can advise you, but again, I don't know what exactly is your journey. Because I think it depends on exactly what is it that you are trying to achieve. Remember again, the end goal in all of this is 1, estate planning, 2, asset protection. So we are there where we know that we are saying whatever it is that you are doing, protect it so that your creditors do not get to attach it. 1. And then 2, whatever it is that you are doing, make sure that estate planning is part of it so that you escape having to pay estate duty, whereby you know that your assets are within your company. Now we need to deal with your company because you are the director in the company and the shareholder. So remove the shareholding, put it under the trust, and decide if you want to trade using a trust, because again there is what we call the conduit principle that we're going to talk about on one of the videos, so that we then should understand what happens when we obviously take that principle. What is it that we need to do? Again, your accountant is the person to guide you in terms of doing that, because the beautiful part of having a trust is that you need to if you would remember on our previous videos, we talk about creating a trust fund. You're creating a trust fund because you're not creating it for yourself, you're creating it for your beneficiaries. Okay, well, good if you are also a beneficiary, but if you're not a beneficiary, as trustees as appointed, you are entirely not the owner of the assets within the trust. You are just the custodian of those assets.
Yeah. So, Pateka, as we conclude here, there's something that that pushed me to have the structure that I have, and thank you for sharing the structure that you mentioned there, which is a trust that owns 100% of the shares into a company, and then you're trading in the company.
Yes.
So that protects the individual, because now the ownership of the shares is in the trust, and I reap the benefits of the rewards being a beneficiary. And my friends, if all of this is confusing to you, then maybe you need to reach out to Partaker and dive in. But here is something that really moved the needle for me. Like when I figured this out, Partaker, I was like, nope, I am not having anything in my name. When I was employed at the bank, my tax bracket was around about 45%. So I'm talking to people here who are high earners.
Yes.
So we all know taxes starts from 0 all the way to 45%. So I hope you do know what is your tax bracket. So that's the first thing. So I'm like, I am working hard here, and for every million that I'm earning, 450 is going to the taxman. Yes. Okay, great. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be paying tax, but there is different avenues that allows us to pay less tax. So I said to myself, okay, as an employee, I have no choice. I have to go through this.
Yes.
Then I realized that the way my family is structured, if I'm to die, whatever that I've been building that's in my personal capacity, there's a further around about up to 55% that's going to go through to tax. And I'm like, whoa, this is a lot of money that's going to the government. Okay, am I comfortable with this? And maybe for some of you this is coming as new information, but go and check for yourself on estates and things like that. So you have worked hard throughout your life, maybe for 60 years or whatever it is, and now further 55% of that is gone. And we were assuming that this is going to go to our families and so on, but that's not the fact, right? And many of us don't see that because now we are dead.
Yes.
When I figured that out, my friends, I started looking for options. I'm like, maybe I should get a trust. Maybe I should get a company. And this is what moved the dial for me. If this made sense for you, and if you are now asking the questions, my friends, we do not have the answer. The answer for you is to figure out for yourself to say which structure is good for you. We spoke about the trust, we spoke about it being a standalone, we spoke about a company, we spoke about the two being together. Whilst you're building your asset, makes the wise decisions. If you don't know how to, reach out to any one of us, we'll be able to help you with that. And my friends, we will see you on the next video. It is I, your boy, TJ. Boom, boom.